Oh, conta. Connections Part 2. Basically, this is a series documenting a library design I'm doing in Liege, in Belgium. The previous part was about the site analysis, and this part is going to be about the sketch design and concept. So, following up on the site analysis, I started developing my concept. Our library needs to be designed in these two buildings near the Opera Royale de Wallonium, Liege, in front of the Cinema Souvenir. My French is horrible. I'm sorry. I want to transform this area into a cultural hub because I noticed that there's an existing gallery space, the opera house, and further south in the area you have a club/music district. This library is also connected to an existing kindergarten. I personally think that art and sports
EA Sports. What a shame.
are beneficial for a person's development, especially in the earlier years.
You want.
And seeing as I want to demolish some part of the existing kindergarten to create a passageway through the block, it's only fair to give them the area that they're going to lose in the library design. That was the TLDR of it. Watch part 1 to get up to speed with the design or the concept. Link above in the cards in the description below. For my design, I'm taking inspiration from the Schunks Glazen Palace in Heerlen, in the Netherlands, for my library. Not in architecture, but in the programming. Schunks is a library that also offers dance and music classes. And also has a gallery space. So in my library I also want to incorporate that into the program and also add theater and art classes. Seeing as it's close to the opera house and a gallery space, people can perform or organize a gallery nearby the library. So I started with my SO tekeningen, sketch design drawings, with a bubble diagram to start figuring out the program and floor plan. The bubble diagram helped me to fit the program in the existing building, but it changed a little in the floor plan sketches that I'll be showing later in the video. So just quickly so you guys can understand the diagram. Basically, yellow is public spaces, green are functional or more private spaces like offices and storage spaces or, kitchens. Gray is miscellaneous. You can think about corridors and vertical movement spaces like stairs and elevators. And blue is basically doo-doo spaces, or where people bathrooms, basically wet spaces. Let's start off with the ground floor. So for the Alzheimer building, the building on the right, I'm literally demolishing the ground floor and the first floor to make a covered green space, and also adding a vertical movement, so stairs and also elevators there to go up to the library. It also has an outdoor green space, an existing one. I'm just gonna do some landscaping there in the back. That also becomes an entrance to the cafe. At the cafe, it's more like a flex area so that you can use it for like impromptu gallery spaces also. And it also has a beautiful atrium in the existing building on the left. So the belastingkantoor, the tax office. From the main street, so the main entrance, you just come into the building via the existing tax office. I am not going to change much at the front. On the right side I put the reception and back office, and on the left side I put the wardrobe. That changed a little. I'm making that also a reception, so you can buy your tickets, then you also put your clothing there, or there's lockers there, and you can go via the corridor on the left to the atrium because there's also a corridor there, and from there you go to the stairs leading to the basement. That's where the gallery is going to be. I also added a cafe because why not? It's a public space. Then you have existing stairs here, and I'm demolishing a part of the building here to make a tertiary entrance coming from the kindergarten. This stair right here is mostly used for the kindergarten. So yeah, that's pretty much the ground floor. Let's go to the basement. Yeah, for the basement, it's gonna be pretty simple. It's just gonna be gallery spaces. You see here in the back that I added a stage. Yeah, that's not happening anymore because I don't know how much overhead space I have, so it's just gonna be gallery space. That's gonna be a flex space. And I do not know how big the basement of the tax office is. So it could be bigger, could be smaller. First floor. So yeah, for the first floor, you can see the atrium, so the skylight that's there. It's basically just public study spaces. And there's also going to be a private study space in the back of the Alzheimer building. In the back of the tax office, I'm adding the kindergarten, like I said. That's where they're going to have their space. There's also a floor 1.5 because the levels of the Alzheimer building and the tax office are not the same. So you're gonna have a floor in between. The half a floor in the Alzheimer building is just also gonna be a public study space. Second floor. So the second floor is where you have the theater classes and the dance classes. Instead of putting the art classes on the third floor, I'm combining it with the theater classes. And the dance class space is going to be a more flexible space, so you can also have workshops and meetings there, and also performances. So the stage that was in the basement is going to be on this level. Third floor and fourth floor. So the third floor in the bubble diagram, it's the art class, and you also have a roof terrace, but it's just gonna be the music classes and the roof terrace. And the fourth floor was technically the music class, but I'm changing that because I also need offices. So the offices are gonna go on the fourth floor. But that's pretty much all the bubble diagram. So those bubble diagrams became actually these sketch design floor plans. Like I said, I did change the wardrobe in the tax office in the front to a reception place right here. And yeah, this is pretty much the floor plan, how it's supposed to be. On the outside, I made an alternative because I think the outdoor area over there is kind of raised. Also, I don't know the finished materials inside, so I'm just taking a guess, and it doesn't really matter because I'm still gonna have to do interior. So this is my interpretation of what I want the inside to look like. Since I have the atrium where the cafe is, you can literally see where the atrium is with the floor finishes. I also designed a seating slash playground area made out of wood so kids can play on it and also sit. It's not the final design, but it's interesting. I'm going for a more organic shape, so more wavy. Because if you look into the street, most things are geometrical. Here's the basement. Like I said, it's just gallery spaces. You have the fixed gallery space here with a musical installation space and also like film installation space right here. And like I said, the one in the back is more of a flex installation space, so meaning for sculpture or not permanent installations. First floor, like I said, is going to be public study spaces, and also you have the kindergarten, and they also have an outdoor space. This outdoor space, I might be able to connect it with the existing kindergarten in some way. Don't know, I don't have their plans. I might just eyeball it via Google Maps. You also have the tribuna, so the stands basically leading up to the half floor. Then we have the second floor, which is the art classes, again, art, theater, and dance classes. It's more of like open spaces, like I said. You can do workshops, lectures, meetings here, and also like even musical shows for parents. And that's why I place a piano on every level, because one, it's gonna piss off one of my classmates, and the other is because this is also a music school, so not having to move a grand piano constantly is also fun. And also interior wise, it looks nice. Then you have the third floor, which is band classes, and you also have an outdoor space. This is public, so anybody can come up here. And then last but not least, the final floor, this is just a office space for the people working there, because it's also necessary. For the facade, I wanted the facade to stick out, and also, like I said, I'm gonna make it more organic. So this is the first weird thing that I want to do. The buildings have two distinctive characteristics, and one is shorter than the other. The left one is shorter than the other. It was a pain in the ass to try to figure out how I'm gonna make these two buildings look like they belong together. I think the solution to this was to make the roof garden, and I'm just copying the same proportions that the columns on the ground floor of the Alzheimer building has. I think that unifies them. So this is the finalized front street elevation. There were differing roof heights, and I think with this I managed to make it a little more organized organized. In the back, my building is in the distance, so it doesn't really matter. But this is the kindergarten and the access to the building from the back. But yeah, that's the where I am right now. Now it's just tossing this in BIM and finishing this up. But that will probably be in part 3. There might come on a part 4, don't know yet. But again, thank you for watching. Till next time.